Hello, everybody. Welcome back to A Certain Point of View here on POV as we are back for another Sunday stream. It is not just the regular four. We also have two, what almost feels like reoccurring characters on this show.
They're the reoccurring characters of our daily sitcom.
Mr. Chris and Robert Adams are with us as well to hear, to talk everything Schmoedown and specifically the pay-per-view that went down last Friday. A lot of chaos.
Pay-per-view? There was a pay-per-view?
What happened?
What's been happening recently, and obviously everyone knows that the Cinefanatics are focusing a little bit more on the movie side of everything, and we thought, you know what, let's get their thoughts on everything Schmoedown tonight that's been happening, and so we're going to get into that in just here a second. How's everybody doing on Sunday?
They're here to talk about the Snyder Cut, right? That's what they're here for.
That's why we're here.
That's why I'm here. I watched it today.
Okay.
Surprise! It's a Snyder Cut show. Hooray.
Yeah. Just make sure.
It was like all I did today, actually, because we took a couple of breaks, and so it kind of lasted all day. Which
That's
was
solid.
fine, because I liked it.
I did my laundry today, and I watched RuPaul. That was my day. Solid day.
Laying
I'm
on
alive.
the couch with the ice pack on your head.
Hey, I was completely not hungover this morning, so it was a-okay.
A whole lot of sentences that began with the word
Ow.
Lots of Gatorade, lots of Pedialyte.
Yeah.
We're champs at drinking. We're fine.
Yeah, we texted each other, and I was like, "I'm alive," and Molly was like, "I'm alive too," and I was like, I'm fine. We're good. This is
Has anyone checked on Marisol and Adam yet?
Oh gosh, Adam liked the tweet, so I imagine he's okay. Marisol's MIA.
Uh-oh.
Marisol's still recuperating.
And she's from Philly. She's fine.
She's fine. Everything's fine.
I feel like you could say that like anywhere. Oh, they're from like the middle of the United States. They're fine.
Oh, they're from Bohoken, New Jersey. They're fine.
Yeah.
Truth or consequences. Was that what Brad mentioned last week? I was like, wow.
They're from Virginia. Maybe call them.
All right. I know everybody in the chat is asking. No, this is not going to be another 5-hour stream tonight.
Sorry.
I know. Look, happy hour is a different animal. Clearly, it's a different animal. So you only get that kind of craziness when happy hour rolls around once a month. But we are here to talk a number of things in the Showdown. But before we get to any kind of specifics, oh, there you go,
Bohoken.
I had a long day yesterday, Mr. Todd.
It's already a hashtag. It's already there. You go. It's already a hashtag.
Okay, you guys.
So before we get to any kind of specifics that happened this week with Schmoedown, I do want to talk to Chris and Robert just a little bit. You guys aren't doing reactions, and you know, obviously Twitter's a big thing in social media, or in Schmoedown specifically. And the season's been going for about 4 weeks now. How's it been on your end? You know, just being a fan, not having to worry about doing the reaction stuff, and just kind of embracing it differently. Is it everything you expected for season 8 to be so far?
Man, we got so much free time.
No. I was going to say
we don't, but I mean,
Jake hasn't heard that word in forever. Free time? What's that?
What does that mean?
that's not a word I've heard since. No.
It's not a name.
Yeah,
I've heard.
I was going to say it's been stress free, but what is that? What is stress free? I don't know what that means.
That's true. Yeah, I feel it.
It's been pretty good. I mean, definitely has given us more time to focus on the movie things, which I think is what severely hurt our channel last year. With the pandemic shutting down like all movie theaters, we didn't have new movies coming out. There weren't movie trailers even coming out because the studios didn't want to throw money into marketing for a movie that wasn't going to come out within the time frame of spending that money on marketing for. So yeah, they didn't push for trailers. They didn't push for anything. There's a lot of stuff I feel like we should have done and we didn't. And I feel like overall we kind of dropped the ball on it. We're trying to fix that this year.
But at the same time, you know, how many different live streams have we started up over the course of this last year too? So where the ball drops in one area, it does get picked up in others.
Yeah.
And how are you guys liking season 8 of the Schmoedown so far? All the matches, all the craziness, the storylines, the cutscenes, all that stuff.
I love Story. I'm so glad Story's back.
Yeah,
Right?
I would glad to see the cutscenes coming back. Everything going on with Andrew Guy is just hysterical because they've got me roped in as if I was watching like an actual like TV show. Like this is like WandaVision where every single cutscene of Andrew Guy ends with the "Please stand by." I'm like, no, what else is happening to him? Why does he think it's like 3 years ago and he's still a part of Team Action and whatnot? Like, what are they doing with this?
So I like all the stuff with Guy, and I love all the stuff with Grace.
Yeah. She's doing a
Right.
fantastic job. Thank God we have her, right? I mean,
Woof.
God, she's killing it.
And
Killing
just,
it in a week.
just before anybody does say anything, this is a spoiler show, everybody who's watching for the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
That
we
includes
forgot to put
possible-
that up yesterday. Sorry.
Yeah, hey, you know what? That includes possible cutscenes as well, which played heavily into the pay-per-view yesterday, which is a good cutscene. We do have a reaction that will come out for that cutscene here once it drops publicly on YouTube, so you guys can watch that. But with all that said, should we just get to it, guys? Since a lot of stuff did happen recently. Let's go ahead and get to the Friday's pay-per-view. Let's start with the big one. We got the Star Wars match here. The big giant Star Wars match between Alex Damon and Andrew DiMolanta. And we all know what happened if you watch the pay-per-view. For the first time in 3 years, the demon himself has been dethroned, and Andrew DiMolanta is now the Star Wars champion of the movie trivia Schmoedown. And so before we kind of break this down a little bit, let's just go ahead and bring on our special guest here this evening, and that is Mr.
could
Alex
it be?
Damon himself.
Who could it be? Yes.
Oh boy.
Yay, more time for drinking.
What's up, man?
Well, the beer overflowed just a little. Oh, my stupid gag.
How's it going?
How you
It's
doing?
good. I'm feeling good.
Good.
That's good. Yeah. Well, I mean, we all saw how great of a match this was, right? 51-50, points records all around. It was perfect until just the very end. And for the first time in a while, you didn't come out on top. But as far as just participating in this kind of match, being a part of it, the greatest Star Wars match, possibly the greatest Schmoedown match of all time, is it kind of cool to just be included in that?
Oh, it's very cool. Obviously, yes, I wish I had remembered Bly a little bit faster, but being a part of, is it the first match to break 100 points is
think so.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And that's just always what my goal is to just get as many right answers as I can. So getting 50, however many questions, 50 total points feels awesome.
Yeah. Anybody else?
It was just crazy for me just to watch because I'm trying to even comprehend what is happening, and it just kept going and going, and I was like, "What? Y'all are? I don't know. I just that's all I could like. It was just astounding, and I think everyone here, like we've been saying, this is if not only the match of the year, but match of the Schmoedown. Like this is the most insane match any of us have ever seen, and. Oh, like the whole 51-50. That's a whole thing now. Y'all created a hashtag. So kudos.
I mean, I have been a little annoyed over the few years where everyone was like, still the best Star Wars match is Knapsack Whitwer. And I mean, like, it was a great Iron Man match, but I'm still like, come on, I've been in so many great matches. So I'm like feeling pretty pleased that my name is at least on one of the top matches now.
Oh yeah.
How many records did this match break? Like it was the highest scoring, the first one to break 100.
Yo, Frank!
Yeah.
Where is Frank?
Was it
He's
like
got
the
nothing better to do.
highest scoring? It's the first time there were like 2 perfect games.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like that's insane.
I think it came 2 rounds of tying the overtime record, which was Cushing and Knopic a few years ago.
Yeah.
Which I mean, biggest one in Star Wars we've seen anyway, as far as overtime. And I mean, that's something I have to ask because you've never experienced overtime, especially like that. Was that a little nerve-wracking too, going into that it could end at any moment in time?
Not really. I was just excited. Like, I remember I wish I could have done this for this match, but like in Chicago when I was facing Scrimshaw, when we both got 10 out of 10 and then hit the bonus together, like we just kind of looked at each other and we're like, hell yeah. Like, let's just keep going. Like, that's how I felt. Is just like, let's go as long as we can. And that to me is really fun.
PJ saying the opposite while you were saying that.
That was what was going through my mind, was like, this overtime was happening. I was like, oh my God, is PJ just like freaking out? Like, what if we run out of questions? We're going to be here for 9 hours. Like, what are we going to do? Like,
He's writing him on the spot.
right? Just like, oh God. Like, it was,
Another round. What's the name of the droid that's with R2D2 all the time? Here, ask him that.
Something as simple as that.
What's the short form name of Chewbacca?
Mr. Brian Ward here. A little bit of an odd comment. I photoshopped the Star Wars belt on Andrew today for something kind of weird.
My God, Brian.
I don't like seeing you
even-
Photoshop anyone but me, Brian.
Haven't
No,
even
thank
sent
you
him
for
the
the Max
belt yet.
Rebo, though.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
I love your
That was awesome.
so good. You're like, maybe not. Just no, that's okay. Thanks.
Well, I know there's not really like a lot to break down like we typically do with matches, because I mean,
There's one thing.
perfect for so many questions. The last question is really the only thing we can break down. But I guess I wanted to ask just the panel and Alex, of course, the difficulty of questions that were in this match. And I don't, obviously I'm not like a super Star Wars person who knows the difficulty of, like a range of 1 to 10 on Star Wars questions when it comes to Schmoedown matches. But did it feel like it was one of the best asked matches that you've played in? Or maybe for Molly, like you've watched and played in other matches, obviously. How did that feel getting those questions throughout the night?
I have thoughts about the questions, but
I
go
do
ahead,
too.
Alex.
But what do you mean about best asked?
So maybe just the range of questions, like were the first round questions good for first rounders, or were the speed round questions good for third rounders, or were they good overtime questions, a little bit harder than first rounders, but made you be thinking a little bit? How was it just as a whole?
Honestly, I think it was a little easy.
Okay.
Okay.
Why not?
I agree, and that's one of the things. It's like some Star Wars players are going to be like, yeah, these were kind of easy.
Meanwhile, the 99
I was wondering if I wanted to go into Star Wars League, but no, I guess not.
I know. I was like, I've been learning Star Wars this year, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting used to this. I'm getting hate. And then I watched this, and I was like,
Nope.
Well, I think Andrew would probably agree with me, but you can see it in our faces when like a really good question gets asked. And I mean, Bly was a good one, obviously. The one that got challenged, which I think was a totally valid challenge, but you can see both of us go like, oh, okay, and like start to have to turn the gears a little bit.
yeah.
So I really liked my 5-pointer. But that's just because
I
that's
did
something
too.
that Molly has been quizzing me on since for like years.
I have also been quizzing a significant person on that question. So when that came up, I was like, there it is.
I have been waiting to get those stupid elevator number questions since I played my first match. And when he got it, I was like, oh.
But I mean, I think that you could avoid having so much overtime and sudden death by making round 1 a little bit harder. Like there was no question like the Bob Anderson one that I got against Ace, where I like was not expecting that. That felt like a curveball. The rest of them felt pretty softball, and a lot of them were repeats from matches that I had in the past in rounds 1 and 2.
You yourself had. I think you said like 8 out of 10 of the first 10 questions were from matches you had been in.
Either me or
That's what
Andrew,
happens when you. That's what happens when you hold a belt for 3 years.
Right.
I know they rebooted the questions and everything, but I was still just kind of like, I think they know we know this. Probably shorten this.
Yeah.
I like the juxtaposition of like the two of them answering the questions and me over here. Like I put this on Twitter. Like I like to keep track of how I do in each of these matches, like in the note app on my phone. And I did the Damon versus Demolanta Star Wars 5-rounder, and like 3-4 questions in round 1. I just wrote ha 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 ha.
Well, it's interesting because like I do think that these Star Wars questions are really hard for people who just like are are normal human beings. But people who love Star Wars trivia, it's like the odds of doing anything in Star Wars, any odd question that C-3PO says, like,
Never tell me the odds.
right? That's that's been asked in every single Star Wars bar trivia you've ever gone to. Everyone loves to ask that one. So Star Wars trivia fans are like, yeah, I can do that in my sleep. But it does seem a little more like, whoa, to everybody else. It's just a different beast.
Yeah.
Does it seem like now it's to the point where when you're studying for Star Wars, you put the movie on, you play it, and then like every 1 second you pause and take notes of everything that happened within the confines of that 1 second of the movie? Like if the scene changed, the camera angle changed, you got to notate and study all of that.
It's definitely something that every time I watch them to study, it's like, yeah, I'm going deeper and deeper and writing more and more weird stuff about these movies that I never thought I would have to know. I don't think I've gotten to camera angle changes yet, but definitely getting pretty granular.
I'm
Yeah,
really
you-
waiting.
PJ, any ideas?
Well,
Right.
I mean, the thing is, we go so deep, and then that's like the 1 5-point question that you get. Or a couple questions in sudden death, and for most of it, it's like it's just like being. I was telling this to Molly earlier. It's kind of like being in a home run derby, and someone's just like really lightly tossing you the ball, and it's like, yeah, I'm knocking these out of the park, but there's nothing really like. There's no curveballs.
There's literally no curveballs. Yeah.
I'm
Look
really
at you
waiting
two
for
making
the-
sports references.
I know. Look at you guys.
I'm waiting for PJ to start asking like, what direction was the wipe going in the transition between this scene and this scene?
There you go. Yeah.
I was actually like, how far into the New Hope is the first wipe transition?
And what timestamp? What timestamp is the first? Oh my god! Do not give him any ideas. Please do not give him any ideas.
All right, we do have a couple Streamlabs I do want to get to real quick before we get to any more questions here. First one's from Vernon with a $25 donation. It says Cinefanatics talking Schmoedown, bring out the chips. And then next two here from Dragon17. First one says, just want to congratulate Alex the GOAT on the great match. No shame in losing by playing a perfect game in the best Schmoedown match. Forever the champ in our minds, and he is the Star Wars division.
Yep.
And he follows that up with, okay, this is for real. Who would do better, 60-day Bateman in Star Wars or 60-day Damon in singles? My money is on Damon, even though I love Ben. I just think you can't study for Star Wars without loving it.
By who would do better? Do you mean like would one of us beat the other? Because I don't think so.
If you spent 60 days doing nothing but studying for singles, and he did the same for Star Wars.
I don't know, and I don't know if he means playing each other or just playing
Just
in general.
overall.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Overall, who would do better?
You'd have a lot more fun.
Yeah,
I think you'd have a lot more fun.
yeah, I think I would too. Well, I don't know. Like we joke about the 60 days thing. I kind of get what he's saying. I don't think that he would be competitive in the league or the division, but I don't think he would do poorly.
Yeah.
I don't think he would beat people. I think he would just do okay.
Yeah, I agree.
I think there's definitely more room for Alex to make it several matches, and I'll flat out say I think Ben makes it maybe one match if he's lucky after 60 days.
I mean, I think I would surprise some people in singles, like that. But it's very luck based. It's very like, some matches I'm like, I would have crushed that, and some matches I'm like, I should never try this.
All right, so before we do move on, I do want to ask, because IG stuff is coming up for you. You are playing the Barbarian here very, very soon. How's the IG stuff going? You prepared? Or are you preparing yourself for that one?
Yep.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
He's not giving away his secrets.
I have watched movies that are not Star Wars. I'll say that.
Proud of you.
Molly, you're not allowed to. You're only in Star Wars. You can only watch Star Wars movies.
Dang it.
Star Wars movies.
We only have so many big TVs to watch movies on.
I got a question for Alex. How would you feel if, like, going forward, say, like for the rematch, should it go to sudden death again, which it very likely will. What if instead of asking like just question after question, they just asked like one question from like the Ewoks movies? Well, I know they were kind of joking about it, but what if they did that instead? Like that's the only time the Ewoks movies questions pop up is the sudden
It's
death.
for overtime.
Yeah.
The Ewoks movies, they're at least feature films. I think that would be funny to throw them in. I know they keep talking about like maybe expanding it, and Christian seems like he just wants to keep it to movies. I think that's the right call. But yeah, I'd be down for them to throw in, or even like Spaceballs or something. Like
That would be funny.
Oh,
I would love Spaceballs.
we're not getting another Star Wars movie for 2.5 years, so like throw in something to like
Spice it
keep
up.
us
Yeah.
on our toes.
Well,
Mix
I
it
think
up.
a good way to make things a little bit harder is to toss in some weirder like wheel slices. Like make species a wheel slice.
Well, some of
Yeah.
the 5-point categories that they have
Yeah.
are really
Yeah.
interesting. Instead of just
Like
the movie, like
Underworld or whatever.
Yeah,
that one
take
is,
the
yeah.
movies out and do species or the Jedi Order, something like that. I think that would really
Like back in the day when
Uh,
they would have vehicle
mess with
weapons
us.
and tech on. That was a.
Is
slice
that still not?
Uh-huh.
Is that not a category anymore?
I think in
not on the
round
wheel.
5. Yeah, not on the wheel. It
Oh,
used to be
okay.
on the wheel though.
Okay.
I believe.
Y'all said species, and I was thinking the Natasha Henstridge horror film. And I was like, was that in Star Wars too?
Star Wars.
Like, man, I really need to watch the Star Wars movies again.
I didn't realize it was still canon.
There's definitely the element of just being digital. Also, like if we were to go back to the studio, the speed round would really change things.
Yeah.
Like that would be interesting, but you just can't do that here.
speed
and I've
round or
seen people-
buzzer.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, I would probably go buzzer.
Mhm. Yeah.
I like the buzzer, but
Mhm.
I like this too. I like that we're still able to do matches digitally, but I think there's some things that doing it in person could change. And I've also seen people say like, oh, they should do an Iron Man match for the rematch, which I'd love to do an Iron Man someday, but the last 2 minutes are supposed to be buzzers. So we can't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not yet.
And poor PJ, like
And poor PJ, right? R.I.P. PJ.
That would be ridiculous. I mean, Knapsack and Whitwer went to 50+ points in an Iron Man match. Imagine what you two would do. My God.
We'd be there
Yeah.
for hours.
It would not be fair. It would not be fair. All right. Well, does anybody have any other questions for Alex before we let him go?
I saw someone in the chat asking like anyone else, rookies or otherwise, that you would be intimidated to play besides me.
Well, Zach and Marie and Thomas Harper have all beaten me in Dragon Con. It's a very different kind of trivia competition, but I
you're
know how
lucky
much
to-
they know.
You're lucky to get a movie question in Dragon Con trivia.
Yeah.
That's true. It covers everything and not just the films, but I know they know the films as well. So I'm not looking forward to facing any of them really. I am and I'm not.
Brian, did you have something?
I just wanted to know how quickly do you want to be the first person when Rogue Squadron is in the wheel round? How
Oh,
quickly
yeah.
you want that
Ooh.
I'll take it before it's even out. I bet I can get it.
Oh, so didn't they say? I think like according to the rules, like they have to wait for the movie to come out on home video before the questions of that movie start being integrated.
It's like 6 months or something.
Mhm.
Something
like that. So essentially, what that means is, Alex, you'll have the freedom to go to the movie theater and watch that movie over and over and over and over again. The second the questions, like you already know everything about that movie as well.
You'll have 100 videos out on the channel already by then.
Right?
Yeah.
Brian Ward's got a question. He said, "How hard was it to think you won and then have to get back into the mindset of playing?"
I think that's what did it, honestly.
Ooh.
I mean, you can see me like have just that big sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Like, well,
Yeah.
that's over. I should have known to expect the challenge, not because, like, of course Andrew would challenge it, but because I think that was a very valid challenge. I was thinking about jamming in my head as well. So I should have expected the challenge. I should have stayed in the zone, and I don't think I did. I'll never know if I would have pulled Bly faster or not. that I just sat there staring at my board with a B written on it, and I was just like, "B what?" That's all I have. So
Can I?
That's
I
tough.
do-
That's got to be tough.
Yeah. I do just want to say though, you were just so gracious at the end of it. You were like, oh, I pulled it at the last second, and then you were like, dang it, but then you like just put your board down and like
that slam on the table was anger at me.
But you could tell that. You could tell from that. You were just like, oh, I just pulled it. And we could see that. But then right after you put your board down and you were just so gracious about what had happened. And I really appreciated that just because I know who you are as a person. And that was just really cool to see how you were just like, I didn't know it. Like, I mean, you did, but like, you just didn't pull it in time. And you were like, well, you're just like, well, that was like it, and that was just really cool to see. I thought you were just.
Well, I go into these matches with the mindset of like, I'm not here to just like crush Joseph Scrimshaw or destroy Ken Knapsack or any of that. Like, I'm just here to do the best that I can, and usually that results in a win. So brain farting is just like my biggest fear, and that like I could just feel it boiling up when I was like, I can't get to it in time. So like, I think I got a little in my head in that moment. But yeah, that was just frustration at myself, not at anything else really.
Oh yeah. And we could totally tell from that. I was just like, oh, like we all realized, we're like, oh, he just had it. Like, oh, he had it right there. But yeah.
And had that been a question, in the normal part of the game, you would have had more repeats.
Exactly.
You probably would have been able to pull it, but that you only get the one repeat, right? And
the one
sudden death.
time. Yep.
Quick super chat from Brandon Buckingham here. Does Alex have to take the rematch? Would love to see Alex in Star Wars Tournament.
I'm sure Christian would let me defer if I wanted to, but I'm not going to.
That's fair.
Can you imagine? He'd be like the Mustafar scene in Rise, going through people in the Star Wars tournament. Just
before my brain clicked that you have an automatic rematch, I went, he's gonna be in a Star Wars tournament.
Yeah, like why does anybody want that? Like
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I kind of want it.
Like, imagine being in the first bracket and your first competitor is multi-champion belted defending Alex Damon. Like,
it would probably be. You better be quiet. It's gonna be Sean.
It's gonna be Sean.
Yeah.
That's not intimidating at all.
With his luck, it's gonna be Sean. It's gonna be like, cool. Studying for that would be a lot of fun though. And then having you and Sean in a match together would be such a freaking blast. That'd be a fun match.
I love having fun during the matches and goofing off, and I mean I think that's part of my just process of staying sane. But yeah, it would be very fun to bounce things off of Sean.
That would, oh my gosh! Now I kind of want that to happen. Sean's probably going.
Yeah, Sean. Okay.
What if they were to do like maybe a one-off like type of like an Iron Man Star Wars teams type of match?
Ooh.
Like that would
yes.
That would be kind of a cool idea.
We know if that happens, it's Alex and Molly versus Andrew and Nikki.
I mean, that makes sense.
Sorry, I just saw this.
Oh yeah. Did you see Paul Yama's mustache, Alex?
Yeah.
Does he
Good,
qualify?
Paul.
Does he qualify for mustache?
Yeah.
That was good. Oh, goodness.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up, Alex, your time here. And I just want to say thank you for stopping by and hanging out. And we look forward to the rematch, obviously, and looking forward to, after what happened on Friday, seeing what happens in the second go around with you and Demlanta. I'm sure you're hungrier than ever now that you don't have the belt with you. And we're, it's going to be a fun one. That's for sure. It's going to be a fun one.
The empty spot.
I know.
We got plenty of Grogu's to put in there.
Yeah, I'm going to warn PJ though. We're going to the 60s. We're going to get into the 60s, so just be ready for that, PJ.
PJ, you've been warned.
He was taking a nap and he went, "Oh my god."
Well, Alex, thank you again, man. Have a good evening, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
you,
everyone.
Alex. We'll talk to you later.
Oh, well.
PJ awoke from a deep sweat. Like just 60.
I feel a disturbance in the force.
Oh God.
Well, since we're on the topic, we can kind of wrap up real quick. I just want to get everyone's like real hard thoughts on the finish, right? It's kind of a big deal. I mean, look, Alex had the belt for 3 years, and Demolanta was the first person to. I know people have come close in the past, but in this new modern day of Star Wars, he's the first person to really, put a chink in Alex's armor, and takes him down, gets the dub, and gets the belt. Let's just go around the table real quick and just overall thoughts on that match and kind of what it means, because it's as I put in the title of the video, it's a changing of the guard, if you will, and it's because he's had the belt for so long.
Jay comes up with the titles if you didn't figure that out already.
Honestly, true to God, I spent like 2 hours trying to find a title. It took me forever. Jill, go ahead.
Like I said, this match was just absolutely mind blowing, and we talked about this behind the scenes. Even we're only at the end of March, and this is already match of the year contender, match of the century contender, best Schmoedown match of all time, and it's March 21st, y'all. But no, I'll
the siren.
I'll say what I said. Alex is a class act, and he's literally legendary, and he is what. He made the Star Wars division. I don't think we would have the Star Wars division that we have today if not for Alex Damon. He made it what it is, and there was that changing of the guard. It's gonna happen to the best of us eventually. There's gonna be that moment where it slips away from you, and it happens to be 50 questions later, like after this ridiculous match. I respect the heck out of him for being told that you won. And then lol JK, we're going back into this thing. So just the mindset he'd had to go through with that. I don't know how I would have reacted to it, and he reacted like the champion he is. But kudos to Demolanta. He clearly studied his butt off, and he was hungry for it. And just the sheer excitement and the realization that he had beat the legendary Alex Damon, and that was cool to see. And it's kind of interesting to see these new class of Star Wars competitors, because we've never seen competitors like this before, and it's scary. But do I think the belt will be back in the Damon household? You best believe it's going to be back in the Damon household, whether it's Alex or whether it's Molly. Who knows? But it will be back in that Damon household. This match was just pure insanity. And I would not be surprised if we see multiple Star Wars matches kind of in the same hungry, crazy, perfect game nonsense with these competitors that we're getting this season.
Sabrina took exactly what I was gonna make a joke as.
I was thinking that too. Yeah.
I was like, remember when people were like talking about Zipper and Brandon's match, and they were like, "This is a match of the year contender," and then everyone's like, "What?"
Oh no.
Yeah. But yeah, the match was a knockdown, drag out fight, and I hate watching championships because they stress me the heck out, and like I get to the point where sometimes I'm like, I'm not gonna watch it. Someone's just gonna tell me when tell me when it's over. But yeah, man, this was there's not a lot of words that you can say for a match like this. I mean, it's just
it literally leaves you speechless.
It's funny because like this is probably arguably one of, if not the greatest match of all time in any division. And it's funny because you would think that because of that there would be so much to talk about, but there isn't, because they went perfect the whole entire time to the point where it went to overtime, where we were just waiting for one of them to miss a question. That's it. That's all. There's no kerfuffle really of like, oh, he bet 2 and then he bet 3. So there's none of that. It's just they literally went perfect until one of them missed it, and that's how it went. And this time it fell to Demonta, and he did fantastic. He was on his game from the second he started to the second he was announced the champion. Did not lose that mindset whatsoever, and it showed because now he holds the belt. So, yeah, I mean, I would not doubt anyone when they say that this is probably the best match of all time. I would not doubt you in that comment right there.
Robert?
So for us, the fun thing was we're watching this and we have like StreamYard and everything ready to go because we're going to do a live breakdown of episode 1 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Got it.
So that's being delayed because we're watching the end of this match. I'm like, yeah, I know you people are waiting for the Cinefanatics to go live. Y'all can wait.
Y'all need to hold up.
Y'all need to just wait a second. And then like it's done, and I'm looking at my brother like, okay, it's done. Let's go live. And they're like, wait, we're gonna need a minute.
we need to process.
Yeah. So like Brian was saying, you go speechless. Like, well, yeah, you go speechless, but then you got to switch over and do a live stream yourself. Like, oh, that sucked.
Oh,
Poor Ferris in the chat.
poor Ferris. His best friend, Alex Damon.
Ferris is probably hurting the most out of every single person.
Oh yeah.
Ferris. It's okay.
Molly, you obviously have a little bit of a different perspective here.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the match and everything that happened?
It's funny because like I feel like any other Star Wars player, you'll get a completely different reaction from. Yes, it was a fantastic match. They both obviously played great. I mean, you can't do better than perfect. But as I was watching and hearing these questions and realizing how many of the questions were repeated from either his own matches or other matches that we had recently watched, I was kind of bummed. And then, I don't know, like, we talked about how, yes, like, finally, we're seeing some really, really good additions to the Star Wars division. And I mentioned it before earlier this year to Alex and maybe on the show. I was like, this might be the year that you lose that belt. You have some actual competition now that wants it more than anyone has ever wanted it before. And he knew that going into it. And it's funny because he was kind of stressing like, oh, I don't know if I studied enough. And then he goes and plays a 50-point game. And I'm like, you literally didn't even have to really study. But I think we're going to continue to see these very, very high scoring Star Wars games that are very close, maybe continuing to go into overtime, unless you throw some more curveballs at people. Like he said, like none of those questions until close to the end made either of them blink, which is tough. And it's like, I expected some harder questions for a championship match. And like, I think most of the Star Wars players would say, you know, oh, I'd love to write some questions, but if you think you could write the Star Wars questions, you're probably in the league playing.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah. If I ever retire.
I'll do it.
If I ever retire, I will absolutely help write questions just to really F people over playing this game. Because
Molly writing questions would be straight up dangerous.
I don't want to.
Everyone that knows Molly would retire.
I don't want to see anyone playing a perfect game, pitching a perfect round. No, all that goes out the door if I write questions.
First frame of Return of the Jedi, how many stars are in the sky?
I'm not kidding. I have joked about that and be like, they're eventually just gonna say how many planets and stars are in this one shot and this one timestamp. But it's like, at this point, would not be surprised if they start doing some nonsense like that.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, I thought the match was great. Again, Demolanta did amazing. you could tell how hard he worked and how badly he wanted it. Coming from someone who has played Demolanta, I know how intense he is and just like how laser focused he can be. And I mean, he did everything right and he deserved that win. So
it was just his night.
It was just his night. And people were kind of freaking out over the challenge. And I do think after thinking about it over the weekend that it was a valid challenge, but it's like, it always sucks as a player to get a question like that just does not have a cut and dry answer. It's like, well, this was also kind of right, and this was also kind of right. It just depends on how you look at the scene. So I hope we see less questions like those that are like, oh, it could be up for interpretation, and more just like cut and dry answers to questions.
Chris?
If I were Doctor Strange and I were looking at the 14,605 different possible futures of what could happen in a match with Alex,
did you just look up that number?
I did. This would be the one.
Yes, I did.
This would
He
be
knew
the
that
one
number.
No, this would be the one example of how Alex loses one of these matches. It's I tripped up on a word. That's the only way, because I know everyone this entire time has always been saying no way he'll lose the belt, no way he'll lose the belt. And obviously like Molly was saying, like there's so many like great competitors coming into play this year that it was going to end up coming down to the brain just farted one time. You mess up on one word one time and that's it. And that's exactly what we saw. I think it was I hate saying it. I think it was a matter of time before that happened, because we've seen it throughout many matches in the Schmoedown. Anything can happen on any given day in the Schmoedown. But I think what it takes is the only way to capitalize on that is do exactly what Demolanta did, which was study super hard. You can see the work that Andrew put into this. You can see like every ounce of sweat that he had while he was studying. You saw that play out on the field there. Granted, yeah, they were both having fun with it, and that's what made that match like super entertaining is how chill they both were pretty much the entire time, or at least playing to the camera anyway. All the props in the world goes to Demolanta, honestly, for sure, just because he did something that I think everybody in the Star Wars division tries to do, and it's always been like a race to try to catch Alex. That's what it has. I mean, as we were saying here, is that Alex is kind of defined the Star Wars division. It's true, because it's this entire time for the last few years has just been a giant race to try to catch Alex, and Demolanta is the one who was able to cross that finish line. I don't know if we're gonna see another Schmoedown match anytime soon, outside of I guess the rematch between the two of them, of course. But outside of that, I don't know if we're gonna see another Schmoedown match that is that close. And if we do, it's probably not going to be for a while.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've been talking about it here on the channel quite a bit, that because of what the Star Wars division has become, it felt like this was the year that we were going to see a shift. Like something was going to happen at some point, and we had kind of all said like, oh, maybe not now. Myself, I didn't think it was going to happen now. I thought it was going to happen sometime later, maybe after a tournament or middle of the year or something. And that's full on kudos to what Andrew Demolanta has been putting in. I mean, he did it in the first major Star Wars match of the year, and he was able to do what someone's been trying to do for the past 3 years. And he's been saying it from day one that this is what he wants. And he obviously has put in the work. He has studied his tail off. What he's doing is working. You could see the intensity and the focus he had during the match. But like everyone's been saying, and, I like what Chris said too about he found the opportunity to make Alex stumble. And I think a lot of that is a very smart play on him to do the challenge. Realistically, he took a giant shot in the dark. He took a giant shot in the dark for that challenge, right? We all saw it play out. Like Christian was literally announcing Alex is the winner. They put up Alex on the screen, and then you can hear Christian go, "Oh, wait, Demolante, you're waving your hands. Are you challenging?" And then he comes in and says, "Yeah, like I'm sorry to do this, but I'm gonna challenge," and it worked. Like at that point, you have nothing to lose, and it just played out in his favor. And then come to find out, like Alex has said, it might have been the thing that kind of just messed him up a little bit, just that tiny bit enough to give it Demolante the chance.
It's a Hail Mary.
And so look, it creates a very cool storyline for the rest of the year. Not as far as like characters go, but Alex Damon no longer has the Star Wars belt, and we're in March, and we have one Star Wars title match that's been played so far this year, in a year that Christian's been saying that the Star Wars division is going to be what the IG was last year. That's a big thing. We could see a changing of belts quite a bit. If Alex gets it back, who knows? Maybe he plays someone else and they topple him. I mean, it could be a huge thing this year, and the Star Wars division could be really shaken up quite a bit. But it's very exciting. I mean, it's very, very exciting. And congrats to what Andrew did. I mean, he put in the work and it showed. That's big time. I'm very excited to see what Alex does, because we've never seen Alex come from the bottom. He's always been the one who's had the belt, right? Now, I know that this is cliche, but Andrew was doing the hunting, not right now. Alex is the one doing the hunting. He's hunting Demolante now, and Demolante is the one with the belt on his shoulder. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting.
I am looking forward to seeing who gets to play Laura, though, because Laura also played perfect against me. She
is lethal.
Is scary.
She scares me.
She intimidates the hell out of me, man.
If I'm wrong, I think before this, the Demolante Alex match, I think Laura had the best accuracy.
I think so. And Laura has
correct me if I'm wrong on that.
You don't see Frank here. Why are you throwing stuff out like that?
If Frank is here somewhere, I'm sure he'll correct me. But I vaguely remember reading that somewhere, that she had the best accuracy of Star Wars.
And Laura has played Alex before one-on-one and lost to him, so she might have even a little bit of fire to want to, if the belt goes back to Alex, to be like, yes, okay, you've beaten me once, but not this time. So we'll see. It's exciting.
Can y'all imagine like a year and a half ago if Christian didn't listen to himself and listen to those silly fans out there that were saying the Star Wars division needed to be retired? This match wouldn't have happened. Like, that's so ridiculous to think about now.
Thank goodness for Grace.
Right?
All right, let's go ahead and shift gears here, and let's talk about the other match that happened on Friday evening, and that was the singles division match between Paul Oyama and William Bibiani. And prime time.
I know. I've been so mad for Paul and Bibbs. Like, that match was great, and then this happened.
It just got thrown out the window.
There was another match that happened, you guys.
Mr. Primetime walks away with the W up against William Bibiani, which, look, I know that Paul has won the belt in the past. A lot say that it might be in a different time of the Schmoedown, and he's kind of worked his way back. This was a big W for him. This was a big, big victory for him. He gets points for Winston, which, Winston has clearly been struggling with a lot of his players this year. And he wins off that 5-pointer at the very end of the match there. But let's just, again, go around the table real quick. Chris, I'm going to go back to you. I'm going to go backwards this time. Oyama Bibbs, what do you think, man?
That was it's hard to like go back, and it's like, we're just saying, like, there was another match that happened, but if you stop and you go in there, like, Paul did something really, really big, because like Bibbs is one of those players that you don't really bet against that often. It is really hard to bet against Bibiani.
He was my first fantasy pick.
Right. and that's what I'm saying. Like, even I was like going for Bibiani in that match. I was like, why would I go against Bibiani here? But at the same time, it's true. Paul has been a champion. He is capable of that championship level play, in which case you have to be if you're going to try to beat somebody like Bibiani. So there's no reason why we shouldn't have been thinking that match be as close as it was, or be a close match at all. it's exactly what you kind of expect and what you're looking for when you go see those two face off. I wouldn't actually say that I'm like completely surprised that Paul did it, that Paul won. But it just wasn't necessarily what I was expecting. I obviously was expecting Bibiani to take the win there. It really was a good match. I have to get my head back into that match. It's so hard,
Right?
but it really was a good match. On top of that, I was taking strenuous notes on marketing from Bibiani during that entire thing because
Right?
I really want to buy some soap.
I'm gonna buy some soap my next paycheck now because everything was Salt Cat soap that match, and I was like, I'm gonna buy me some soap.
So I do want to point this out real quick because I know we're all trying to wrap our heads away from the Star Wars stuff, but in the match, and thank you to Leo in the chat, Bibbs was on the ropes of being TKO.
Yeah.
He was on the ropes. That's how good Paul was playing. He was
A sentence
playing,
you don't usually hear ever.
No.
Yeah, right? Yeah, he was playing really, really well, and it's not against Paul, but Bibbs may have not looked as sharp as he usually did. I don't know if anybody else caught that, but he kind of stumbled in moments that like he usually gets. Maybe that's just me kind of looking into it too far, but I think Paul might get his shot again this year. I mean, if he starts off the year like this, there's a good chance that he could end up getting a title shot and holding that belt at some point this year for sure. Molly, what about you?
Yeah, he looked pretty fierce in this game. Paul did, and I was guessing that Paul would win this one just because I think just like what we saw with Andrew, like he had that hunger and just that extra fire under him to want to try and come back and get more wins. And I don't know that I felt that Bibbs wavered in any way, because he always kind of seems really chill and just like, it is what it is,
That's fair.
It may have just been the questions weren't in his favor and they were for Paul. But this was a great match. I'm glad there wasn't a TKO just because.
Yeah, me too. That would have been my second Merc TKO and lost a point. Thank God. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm glad there wasn't a TKO just because, that's just makes it even a little bit harder to lose. But it was a great match, and I'm excited to see what Paul does the rest of the season.
Real quick, Rob, before I get to you, I do want to do the Streamlabs real quick. Ferris with a very, very generous donation here.
Ferris.
Simply says, much love, y'all.
Ferris.
Ferris, thank you.
I hope you
Appreciate
didn't
it.
drink at work yesterday.
No.
Shh, you're incriminating him. Be quiet.
He did it himself. He put it in the chat yesterday.
That's fair.
Robert, what about you, man? Paul Oyama takes the W against William Bibiani.
I think they actually said it during the match. In my opinion, kind of echoes it. If they did, if they didn't, then I'm going to say it here for the first time, and my brain is just not wired properly. I think I believe they said that this was like a good like return to form for Oyama. This was a nice like throwback to y'all are all at the same time. It's wild. This was a nice throwback to his rookie year where he just went through and slaughtered everyone he went up against. So it was a nice throwback to that. And it's good to see him possibly going on that streak again. So much like everyone else has said, I was going for Bibbs on that, but yeah, it's nice to see him be able to pull out that win on there. My other opinion of it is like, yeah, Oyama won, but the true winner was Salt Cat Soap, just easily. I want to see them do ads. Like, what's that soap that we see ads all over YouTube and Facebook's that Squatch,
Dr. Squatch.
Yeah, with that one dude that's like all kinds of crazy. This soap's gonna leave you feeling wild. Like, I want to see Bibbs do a commercial like that now, and just have that like just it's all mocking the Squatch ads.
Schmoedown community, let's get something together for Bibbs. Let's throw it together.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I got to throw out this comment from Chuck because he's so true. Fantasy caused tension in the POV family, and I love it. Yeah, Chuck. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a reason Frank's not on our show very much right now.
I know there's a reason why Frankie's not here today.
Brian, what about you?
Don't put the stat man in your fantasy league.
I know. I know. That's what we said. That was funny. I blame his cat Luca because he told him he was going to lose before the match even started. So no, I'm kidding. But yeah, that was a great match. Fire sale on all my mercs right now on my fantasy team.
I'll take Bibs.
They're giving me heart attacks every match.
Let's make a trade. I'll take Bibs.
Okay, give me Merle.
Hey, give me
Talk about it.
Okay.
Oh.
But yeah, no, great match. Paul Yama has the best intro music. I could listen to that song all day. Just throwing that out there as well. Plug for David B. But yeah, that was a great match. It didn't seem like there was anything that was going to stop Paul from taking that match. I mean, you could tell he wanted it bad because when he won, he was very excited, as he should be, because I mean, when you're going against Bibbs, you never know what you're going to get. And typically it's a pretty good match, no matter what. Is Bibbs perfect? No, but it's someone you fear when you play. So for Paul to come in like he did and just punch his way through those questions, it was good. And, you know, to be honest, if he doesn't get a title shot, I will be surprised the way if he plays like he did in that match on Friday, because he was killing it during that match. Like, there's no other way to say it. Mm-hmm. Which, again, I can't believe those. Grace is doing such a good job with these Friday matches that, like, it's incredible.
Are you trying to get hired by Grace?
That's what I'm
I know,
saying.
right?
He's full on just
chill.
Hey,
chill.
Grace,
I'm trying. I want to make sure I'm on her good side. She scares me.
Also
yeah,
valid.
but you're not selling yourself in case Christian ever comes back in charge again. So I mean,
the way he's not on the desk now. He's not. I mean,
That's
who knows?
Right.
But yeah, no, great match from Paul. He took advantage of Bibbs when he wasn't performing at his best, and he made sure he was going to get that win, and he did. So, yeah.
And that could also mean very, very good things for Final Exam, which was announced to have a match as well. They will be playing Shazam. So Bibbs and Uyama will be back together next month, playing against each other, which is cool. Teams is coming back. But Jill, I know you were very excited about primetime time.
Y'all,
Primetime time.
It's primetime time. It's primetime time. No, so the match started at 5. I don't get off until 5:30. So I'm literally texting the crew, like in real time as the match is happening.
She's answering Paul's questions.
I'm answering Paul's questions. Like, Paul's killing it. The Hercules thing came. I was like, Hercules! I got really excited. And then, like, when the interview with the vampire question came on and I heard the pause, I was like, oh my God, his brain is mentally going Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt. Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt. And I was like, trying to mentally, I was like, Brad Pitt. But like, no. So
he heard my thought because I went, Tom Cruise.
Nope, wrong. But
Tom Cruise was Lestat.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. So I literally came into my room, pulled out my laptop, turned it on, joined our little watch thing right at the final question. I cannot wait for that reaction to go up, y'all, because I lost my darn mind. Because Paul is a very good friend of mine, and I know how much he wanted that win. And so to see it happen in the way that it did, he had a freaking great match. And I was dancing around my room. I was so stoked. I texted him. I was like, it's prime time! Like, super stoked. And no shade to Bibbs. I love Bibbs. I think I said when we were talking about this match, I said no matter who wins this match, like I'm happy about it. I love Bibbs. I love Paul, but I know how hungry Paul is to climb that ladder again and get that belt back. I was over the moon, y'all, and I've never moved like that in a while. I think I may have pulled a muscle doing something. I have a bruise on my leg where I don't know where it came from.
That was yesterday.
That was
That was
It was yesterday, Jill. But no, this match was super fun. It was super great. And of course, we've got Coy, we've got Winston. It's just two great managers, two great players, and what more could you ask for? It was.
I didn't see Winston. I saw Daryl.
That's right, Daryl.
Oh, yeah.
Was it
Forgot
Daryl or
about that.
was it
Darrell.
Darrell?
Darrell.
Darrell. That's right. It's Darrell.
Yeah, look, it goes in that category of these fun matches, right? Like, it's obviously a very serious match, and Paul with his win might get a number one contender shot next. I don't know how the kind of lines up and everything, but Bibbs is a very fun player to play against. Paul, since joining Swag, is much more lighthearted. Winston and Coy are obviously very similar in that when it comes to managing, and it was a really good undercard match for the main event that we had. Even though it did get forgotten within minutes, it was a very good match to counter what was coming thereafter. And yeah, Paul pulled it out, and I think that this is a return to what we kind of saw last year, but it might be a lot more consistent this year for him, which is going to be. And Bibbs is always going to be there. Bibbs will always be there. And again, we've been saying with a lot of people this year, but it's only March. We're going to see plenty of people. If they get a loss, they're fine. We will see these people fight. All right, so before we get to talking about Janine and Jader, which we did not cover because we didn't do a reaction, and then we'll preview these upcoming matches this week as well. Let's talk about some FCL, guys, because Brad Gilmore did officially announce the first official match for the FCL, which is coming up on March 30th. It is a week from Tuesday, and the first official main event for the FCL is Cooper Barnes and David Campbell. And you may recognize David Campbell. He's been all over social media. He was on this show a couple times as well. He's been all over the after shows promoting himself before the draft. Unfortunately,
his cool accent.
Yeah, exactly. He was not drafted, unfortunately, but he's entering the FCL, and he's going to be the part of the first official main event, the main card, which looks like it's going to be kind of like a pay-per-view style-esque event that day, where there's going to be two matches for the FCL. I don't know much about Cooper Barnes. I know that he's an actor, if I'm not mistaken.
He does some Nickelodeon stuff.
Okay, cool. And I've talked a little bit to David Campbell, obviously, so I don't have too much as like who's going to win, who's not going to win situation. But I'm just really excited this is happening. Like, this is really cool. It's a developmental league, so it's a different league, and Brad's running it, and we get Brad and Steph Sabra on the desk. Similar style of play, obviously. But it's also just more movie trivia, which is always a good time.
It's always good.
I'm very excited to see the FCL stuff, and like to see the two of them on the desk is going to be cool. It's just going to have like a whole different vibe, and I'm just as excited for that as in any of the other matches coming up.
Right.
Yeah.
Samesies.
Brian?
Samesies.
Oh, I'm very excited. And what's incredible to me is that we're this excited and we still haven't even heard half. Maybe a little bit over half.
We've probably heard around half of them, yeah.
There's 43.
Yeah.
43.
43.
We've probably heard at least 20 of them, yeah.
So let's say around half of the people. So there's still people out there we don't even know that could be in it. That's I'm very excited. It's something new. Yeah, I just can't wait to see it. Who knows what kind of shenanigans is going to happen with Brad running it?
Right? Oh boy.
That's very true. Chris, Robert, what do you guys think of the SCL?
Well, I mean, we have thoughts. Actually, I think we have. It's kind of weird, kind of a strange way to go about it, but we pre-recorded some of these thoughts for you because we knew we were going to probably highlight some FCL. So if you want to go ahead and actually just kind of play that thing we sent you about it, that'll convey it.
Cool.
What's up, guys? We're the Cinefanatics. My name is Chris Adams. And I'm Robert Adams. And we're about to do, for our first time ever, our inaugural Schmoedown reaction.
Once again, I'm going to push for the Cinefanatics. They should have been in.
They should have been nominated.
Y'all are two of the best reactors the Schmoedown has ever seen.
3. Cinefanatics are here. They got snubbed. Love for them too, guys. They're getting drafted. It's okay.
I have a question for you guys. Are you guys going to enter the draft?
Do you know what you need if you want to go straight to the top? Vote!
They had been diehard fans. They've done blogs on their show for the Schmoedown for a very long time. Robert himself has even competed in the Schmoedown at one point. They're very nice people, and we hope to see them on the other after shows, giving because they know the show very well too. So,
would the Adams brothers be interested in the FCL?
Oh, we got something to say about that. Welcome to the first Cinefanatics League. You're in our house now. Okay, I get it. We've seen all these new rookies coming in, all on fire. They didn't get picked up in the draft, so now we hear them sitting there saying, oh, I've got a chip on my shoulder. What, because a manager didn't select you? Like, you've got something to prove? Alright, you don't know rejection like we do. Have any of y'all out there been doing an after show for 3+ years and getting this close to being nominated every single time but getting snubbed for all of them? Have you actually already been in the draft last year and been completely passed over by every single manager? No, you guys are complaining because you didn't get picked up this year. We know some of y'all out there are going to be future champions, and that's fine. But right now is not your time. So sit back, put your feet up, relax, grab a snack, because if you think you have a chip on your shoulder, we have a whole bag of chips. All right, we're good? Did we get it? That's a wrap? Cool. Wait, sorry, what's that? They're not doing teams in the FCL yet?
Yes! Look at this!
Congratulations! I want chips now.
As big as my head.
It's a rather large chip, sir.
That was so freaking awesome! Oh my god! So it's official. Welcome to the FCL, y'all.
Yay!
Yes.
Congratulations. Very dry.
Thank you guys. Yeah.
Yay.
Hashtag bag of chips.
Oh, thank you, Rachel.
So you guys have more than just a few thoughts about the FCL, huh?
And more than a few, I'm assuming.
Yeah, a couple.
Well, the floor is yours, gentlemen.
Take it away.
Oh man. I mean, this whole process has been fun. Just getting to be a part of it. I don't want to give all the behind the scenes and all the nitty gritty details, but man, just to be able to finally arrive at the place where it's yeah, guess what? You guys are finally going to be a part of it. It was cool, being able to go to the studio that one day, and and him over there got to actually compete, and he can speak more about that, obviously. But the fact that now we get an actual opportunity to prove ourselves on the actual battlefield, so to speak, is really cool.
That's awesome. How does it feel? Are you freaking out, nervous, excited? What are all over the place? What are we thinking?
I'm ready.
In Batman voice.
Yeah.
Well, my first thought, again, like he said, I played in the studio one time on a Teams match, just thrown into the match, and so nervous, couldn't find the right chair or whatever. It was real awkward. I'm not gonna have any problem finding the right chair. It has to be this one. I'm sitting right here.
Problem solved.
So I to cut I guess a mini promo about the chair. Not a problem. All movie knowledge now. The chair situation has been handled.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
So
chair situation handled.
Hashtag chair situation.
I know this has been a goal of both of yours for a while. You guys have obviously been on the draft list for the last 2 seasons, and unfortunately it didn't go your way then. And you guys, I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of the big reasons why you guys stopped doing actual Schmoedown reactions is to focus on this opportunity and the chance of doing this. And so I know from our end, it's really cool having you guys on the show a couple times and just kind of doing streams together and whatnot. It's really cool to see you guys get this opportunity after working so hard from it, being a part of the after show community as well. Super, super cool. Also, I cannot wait to see you face off against each other because there is no teams in the FCL.
Yeah. That's going to be a lot of fun.
You know it's going to happen. It's Brad's going to.
Oh yeah.
Brad's got that wrestling mindset, so he's going to see like any opportunity to extort a good storyline.
Yeah.
He's going to take it. So.
Yep. Yes, he is. And what better storyline? Like, what
than
better
to ruin a relationship of brothers?
What better storyline than to ruin a brotherly relationship?
We need to get the footage of the tackle. We need to get the footage of the famous
Right?
tackle.
I think that footage is lost, unfortunately. Yeah, we've been trying to see. No, not right now.
we see Chris just leave and then just go into.
Oh wait a minute! Sorry guys, I gotta use the restroom.
No!
Oh god! Also, yes, Tim, welcome. They just announced Chris and Robert.
He's got a plastic bottle with him. All right. With that out of the way, obviously, big announcement, huge announcement. I'm sure. I don't know if you guys are gonna post that on the video on YouTube or anything. Is it going to go public for everybody to watch if they want to go back and watch
It was supposed to go live on Twitter, and I think something messed up. So I'm going to pump that video back out on Twitter here in a second.
There you go. Well, everyone watching, make sure you guys share that. Go share that so everybody knows that the Cinefanatics are officially part of the FCL, and they will be making their mark in the movie trivia world here very, very shortly. With that said, let's get to some matches, guys. And before we get to previewing this week's matches, let's talk about the one match that we didn't get to react to this week, which was Janine and Jader. A big match, obviously, for both factions, but also because Jader was kind of, in a way, Janine's like Padawan, if you will, right? And he said that in his promo. When he got drafted last year, she kind of took him under her wing. As Jader puts it, her metal wing. Which makes a lot of sense for Janine. Yeah, I mean, in a great match, Janine takes the W on this one. Comes down to the wire. A really, really, really close match. They both played well. Brian, I'll start with you on this one. Janine and Jader, what are your thoughts?
This one was rough because I was rooting for both and was like, whenever someone would answer something, I'd be like, yes! Oh no, the other person's losing now. Emotions. Yeah. But I'm glad it played out like it did because it wasn't a lopsided. It wasn't a like TKO. It was a grueling battle till the very end, and Janine never lost confidence, and she went in with the mindset that she was going to win, and she ended up doing it. And it shows that she's not just a one league person. She can take wins in any league, maybe even Star Wars. I don't know.
Oh boy.
But at least the three that she's been in, no matter what, she can win, and she's gonna take every chance to make sure that person loses that she's playing against. And this time it happened to be Jader. Jader played phenomenal. He was on top of it from the beginning. But yeah, it was a great setup, great match. I love that we can't make a master and apprentice type comparison outside of Star Wars, but
we can.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Roxy coached Janine fantastically. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Roxy played a big part in this. Molly, what about you?
I agree with Leo in the chat. Janine played her heart out in this one. And it was such a fun match to watch. It was very kind of like back and forth. You were kind of just wondering where is this going the whole time. And yeah, knowing their history, it just made me so happy to see like every time Janine got something right and Jader like knew it and knew that she got it right, you could see him do like a little yes, like you got this. And it just makes me smile, and it makes my heart grow when you see stuff like this happen and it's not so intense and so competitive. It's like, okay, but we know these two people are both rooting for each other. And when Janine won, her face was priceless. Her and Roxy's reaction to that win was just so heartwarming. So yeah, great match.
Chris.
Oh man, it was a great match. It was also like heartbreaking because obviously like you have that Janine was right there with Jader during like his first match and all that, and it's so sad to see them like have to like fight each other now, but at the same time, I've been one of those, and I feel like a lot of people have, but that's been saying, Janine, just get another win under your belt, and then you'll be able to go on a tear. Like Janine was just waiting for her moment to start shining. And one, I think, I echo Christian. I echo a lot of people here. Roxy's a perfect manager for her.
Yeah,
100%. And I think this was her time. This match kind of shows that Janine is. I say that all of her matches show that she comes to play, that she is very competitive. But this match shows that she's just flat out not playing around anymore, not playing around this year. And I think I definitely had Janine going into this one. I love Jader. Jader's great dude, but I definitely had Janine in this one just because I know that hunger was building up in her. And then, of course, you have Roxy on the back end stoking the flame. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like Garth in the comment just said, this is Janine's year. This is 100% Janine's year. I would not be surprised to see her go the distance this year. So
Roxy said her numbers were the sexiest numbers.
The sexiest.
Because it was 369.
Hey, damn, we're fine.
369. Also, I'm sorry if I was like stumbling over my words there. I have this giant chip on my desk just staring at me.
You're like, I don't know what to do with this now.
What do I do with
I
this
have a whole bag of chips over here.
Jill, what about you?
I mean, just basically piggybacking off of what everyone here said. This match is, to me, this match for how I felt about this match is very similar to how I felt about the Paul and the Bibbs match. Really, whoever won this match, I was happy about, because I'm really good friends with Jader, really good friends with Janine. But I know how much a win meant to Janine, and to see her get that win made me so thrilled for her, because like I agree with everyone else in the chat, this is her year. And she needed that first win for her to start climbing that ladder. Roxy's a perfect manager for her, and I'm really excited to see how that continues on throughout the season. And I'm just so thrilled for Janine. I'm so excited to see her play again, and for her to get that win. I'm just like, yes, girl, yes, girl. It's her year. It's her year, and I'm excited to watch it.
And Robert?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same sentiment everyone's saying. I've believed that Janine was one of those like players that just really has not been able to. And everyone kept saying it was luck, is what it looks like. It was, I would say, like her and Silverstreeny were always the ones that I was always thinking, like, if these two could just get that one break, just that quick breakthrough, they could go on a tear through the entire league. And it would be amazing. So I am so happy to see Janine get this win. I'm also really scared for what Kate is potentially going to do to Roxy later.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Kate is fierce this year. She is real fierce this year. All right, before we get to preview this week's matches and make some predictions here real quick, let's talk about that cutscene that did happen at the pay-per-view. Let's talk about this real quick, because we saw in the past Andrew Guy going to Collider Studios, and
I love how when they legit went to Collider, like for the
yes,
like it was literally Collider Studios, and I died. I lost my mind. I was like, oh my god, he's actually at Collider.
So he's trying to enter the building, and he's yelling at people, telling people to wear masks when they're telling him to wear a mask. And he gets a phone call from one Grace Hancock. And she's sitting, if I'm not mistaken, the restaurant across from Collider Studios.
It's the bar across the street. Yes,
that's what it looks like. Yeah,
she's at the restaurant. She's at the restaurant that's across the walkway from the AMC, which is like less than a block away. Yeah.
Yep. It's the infamous
So
part.
she calls Andrew Guy, and before asking him the inevitable question that the cutscene was all about, she quizzes him about movies that have come out since his memory loss has started. Mahershala Ali, Get Out,
Who?
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible, and she goes,
Which she got right,
though.
You did get that right.
So clearly Andrew Guy is living back in 2017. Okay, he's living back years ago. He woke up with a memory loss. After all of that, she asks him, "Hey, I'm gonna put you on the desk. Christian is out. Christian is old. He's done. We're gonna move him away, and we're putting Andrew Guy on the desk." He agrees to it, and even though he might be questioning at the same time, he agrees to it. And this is, look, Andrew Guy, 2017 Andrew Guy on the desk in a 2021 movie trivia Schmoedown league is going to be very interesting.
Good.
I can't wait for my next match.
I'm so excited.
I want to see Andrew say Star Wars names.
Oh God.
If you were to ask me like what a wish list would be, it's one, obviously I want to see Ben and Andrew team up again. Like you always want Team Action to reunite, of course. But two is to have Guy in his dastardly personality calling a match. The what you can accomplish with that is huge. There's just so much that can be done that it's going to be so much fun to watch happen.
I'm waiting for someone to get a question on and go, ha, wrong, loser. Like,
Yeah. I mean, Mark Ellis has already kind of started doing that, and it's been hilarious. So
Morons.
Morons.
Not loser. Like, just complete heel.
Idiot.
Guy, right. I'm so here for it.
Well, the interesting part is when movies from 2018 on come out. Andrew's not going to know what he's talking about. He's not going to know what he's reading. He's not going to know the answers. And that's the interesting part that I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Who's going to tell him about the Rise of Skywalker? I don't want to be the one.
He doesn't know Rise of Skywalker exists.
He'll be like, Palpatine's back? What?
I want to know, we're probably not going to get an answer to this, but I want to know who came up with this idea to go this story route with Andrew Guy. Because that is just genius.
It's so
I feel really bad though that he's going to get spoiled on a bunch of movies.
Right? I know.
I didn't even think about that
4
too.
years worth of movies are down the drain for Andrew Guy.
Poor
That's
guy.
that's really sad.
Like you could go back and let him like rewatch Usual Suspects or Sixth Sense all over again and relive those scenes, the twist endings on those. Like,
right.
Although he does get to watch Endgame, well, for the first time actually. Never mind. For the first time again.
How is he going to find out that Tony Stark died? Oh man.
Spoiler alert, Jake.
Wait,
for him.
Tony Stark died?
Yeah. What? Sorry, Chris.
Get him out of here.
What about Santa Claus?
Yeah.
All right, it's going to be interesting. We're going to keep tabs on that. I'm very interested to see when his first match is as a commentator alongside Mark Ellis. It's going to be very, very interesting. That's a good question. What month of 2017 is he in?
That's a good point.
A lot of movies in 2017 too. All right, so let's go ahead and get to these matches for this week. And I know that someone in the chat had asked about all of the matches that Grace announced on Friday. I don't know if we want to run through those or just maybe talk about one match that we're really looking forward to.
All of them.
Go through that list.
But
I have one.
There's a lot of matches that were announced on top of a number of pay-per-views, including the free-for-all. If everyone wants to talk about maybe one just quickly before we move on to this week's match. This week's matches. Jill, why don't you start us off?
The one that came to the top of my head that I was super stoked for was Paige for Betty and Peggy Gubbins. That match, I'm stoked. They're already like duking it out on Twitter. Like they're already going after each other, and it's great.
I have to look at my list. There's so many.
I know. See, but that was the one. Like that's how excited that match is going to be fun. That one.
Brian,
I don't know. I'm looking.
Chris, you got one?
Kind of highlight the this is interesting one. The Jessica Schloeth versus Beth May. I think that one's going to be really interesting because not a whole lot of people know anything about Jessica, and she does know some stuff. And then of course we've got Beth May, who if you were in the Facebook group, just put on a heck of an amazing character already.
So good.
So the two of them is going to be an interesting and fun match to watch.
Molly?
Oh, fine.
I gotta go with Adam Witt, the Razor Witt versus the Major Thomas Harper.
That's going to be a good one.
No surprise here. I'm going for a Star Wars match, but
predictable.
Adam is on my faction now. We've been training him. He is on fire. I'm so excited to see Thomas play. You know, everyone is excited to see the Dragon Con players play, especially Thomas, I think. So I'm so stoked for that match.
A lot of people going for Mark Hoyk. And,
it's good
Griffin
to see
Newman.
Mark Hoyk back in the.
And I know a lot of people have been talking about this Griffin Newman guy.
Mm-hmm.
I know that he does a podcast, and we'll see what it translates to movie trivia. But Brian, you figure one out?
Yes. The King of Cons.
Oh yeah,
The King. Yes,
good one.
the King Con,
That
yes.
that I was scrolling through the list, and I was like, that one. That's the one.
on Don Flickinger, which is a big one.
He is in my fantasy draft.
With my luck, that means I have Flickinger. So,
Robert, what about you?
I think the one that stood out to me was I think it's one of the matches in the throwdown, the Stacey Howard versus Kevin Smith.
That one's
Perfect pairing.
I like why like Stacey Howard all of a sudden against Kevin Smith. Like I didn't see that being.
I love that matchup.
I am obsessed.
But I'm thinking about it, and I'm like,
it's gonna be a good match. It's a good match.
Stacey's good at movie trivia, and she's also really good about just getting the right answer.
Yeah,
is that gonna be good enough for good enough Kevin Smith?
I might actually get some points. She's on my fantasy team. Yay!
That's the other thing. Chuck is saying in the chat, kind of a slight against, let's say, Jericho and the Flirt and Flouse, but yeah, it's an actual Schmoedown player. He's actually getting to play, and
A veteran, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't a match that's kind of made up for like, come look at this match, come enjoy the entertainment value of this match.
Mm-hmm.
This is a legit like just movie trivia battle.
Yeah.
And,
Which
I'm all for that.
This is the type of match that kind of puts to rest any thought of is Kevin Smith just in the league for a show, or is he in the league to play as an actual player? He's in the league to play as an actual player.
Yep, and he said that too. He said, "I'm here to play." Like he wants to play, and the fact that we're now seeing him for 3, this is his 3rd match now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's super rad.
And I'm gonna do fantastic in the FCO because I want to get into the Schmoedown and play Kevin Smith.
Right?
There you go.
I want to be like in like the 3rd person on like a Kevin Smith like exhibition match with Kevin Smith and Rachel Silvestrini.
I was gonna say
if you're right there with that.
If you get a match with Kevin Smith before Rachel Silverstream, she's gonna kill you.
She's literally gonna go to your house.
Absolutely.
She is the Switchblade for a reason.
I outside of the pay-per-view matches, which how can you not look forward to Collins Merle 2? The return of the Godfather, Drew McWeeny and Lon Harris.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Drew McWeeny back. He's been gone for just over a year, and who knows what that's done for his movie trivia knowledge. Super excited.
And who knows what's going on with Lon?
Yeah, who knows? Does he even know? We don't know.
Very true.
Did he pop back up as a professor like in the at the
Spectacular, right?
Like when they drafted his brother. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was. Yeah.
Who knows?
All right, let's finish off the show here with this week's matches, making some predictions here. We'll go through Wednesday's match. This is a singles match. Oh, actually, all of them are singles matches this week. First one is a Dungeon Corruption matchup. Video Drew and Elliot Dewberry. Very interesting match here. Jill, I'll start with you. Video Drew Dewberry.
I gotta stick with my corruption, and that hurts me because I love Video Drew with all of my heart. But I gotta stick with my man's faction. So let's get it, Dewberry. Let's get this win. But I will say though, Dewberry and Video Drew, I'm really curious to see how Dewberry's going to react to Video Drew. I think he's going to be very confused and very scared. And I cannot wait to see that absolute insanity.
Brian.
I am very torn because Dewberry is on my fantasy team, but I love Video Drew.
Right?
and this would just be my luck because I'm gonna have pick Video Drew, and she's not on my team. I love Video Drew. I don't think I could ever pick against Video Drew. So
She's a peach.
yeah. So darn. Lost
Robert.
more points.
I'm gonna have to side with Video Drew. One, she knows who I am, and I don't think Dewberry does. Two, I've played Video Drew multiple times in her Video Chronic quizzes. She's good. She does know movie trivia. I know she stays dedicated to doing like study sessions and whatnot. So she's always building on her knowledge. Again, because I don't know Dewberry personally, I don't know if he does that. So I'm going to go with Video Drew.
If we keep saying her name, she's going to
She will
appear.
appear.
Right? Yeah.
She always does.
Molly, I'm guessing I know who you're going with.
Oh, dungeon all the way. Come on. I've seen how things work in the dungeon now. I have seen what a real faction looks like, how real teamwork looks, and everyone's been helping each other. Just like everyone else in the dungeon, she's on fire, and she's totally gonna get this win.
Oh my god, she's on fire.
She might want to be, though. You know.
I was gonna say, I
That's
can
true.
totally see her just coming on, and she's literally on
Hi,
fire. She's
I'm
like,
on
"Hi
fire."
guys,
Yeah.
how's everybody?" Like,
Chris.
I think you got to give this one to Video Drew, and partly the reason is, one, as everyone stated, like she's studying, she's putting in the work, she's gonna come in with like an immense amount of knowledge. The other part of it is, I think there's a part of Dewberry on the inside that's still dying for having a retired Makuga. So I don't think his whole heart and head will be fully into the match, despite what Shannon is trying to get him to do. So I think I gotta give it to Video Drew on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Video Drew as well. I think that she's just might be a little bit better at the movie trivia side of it all. And corruption, boo. So
listen, sir.
And for you people that care about our fantasy league, this is me versus Abby.
Oh, fun.
Mhm.
Wait, who you have who, Brian?
I have Dewberry, and I'm picking Video Drew.
Also, real quick, Brian said he was split on this. Is there a single match that happens that you're not ever split on?
Molly's.
That's a really good point.
Well, okay.
Sean, if he's not being sassy
outside of the POV,
If he's not being sassy.
What if Sean is facing Molly?
The struggle.
Oh.
Oh no!
I think the world
where
would
is
just
the-
spontaneously combust.
Brian's like, hey guys, I can't make it to the stream tonight.
I'm sick.
Again, depends on how sassy Sean is being that day. If he's being super sassy, all bets are off.
I can absolutely match his level of sass. Just
That's
let me
also
know.
true. That is also
Yeah, but I just have to throw like a tequila bottle. Just be like,
where?
Y'all had enough last night. You're good.
Yeah.
All right, Thursday's match is a rookie matchup. The Stars and the Finstock Exchange, so Roxy and Gucci. That is Christina Vassallo and Rick the Rager Radis. Let's see. Robert, I'm going to start with you on this one.
I don't know anything about these two. Yeah, I know Radis was like very highly like trumped up on social media, so I don't know. I guess he might know a thing or two. Christina, I've heard her name a lot. I know does she come from the fan leagues? She's one of the family four.
She's a family four, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a reason that there's these four specific people being highlighted. Apparently they're good. So yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know who I would take on that, because other than that, I just told you everything I know about these people. So.
Jill, what about you?
I gotta go with my girl Christina. It's hard to root against people that are in the Fan League 4, because they are called the Fan League 4 for a reason. And I think Christina is gonna take names and she's gonna perform. And I'm so excited to finally see even Rick Radis. I'm excited to see these rookies, more rookies. Give me more rookie matches. Like just inject them into me, because I'm so excited to see these new faces and these new characters. But yeah, I'm taking Christina on this one.
Everyone else wants a vaccine. She wants rookie matches. And
I got the vaccine.
Oh God, here we go.
Go get vaccinated. I got the vaccine.
Chris, what about you?
This one, like, I think I'm gonna go with Christina on this one, just because one, there's that Fan League 4 aspect, but two, I think based on having had experience within the fan leagues, just the experience alone, not even necessarily being a part of the Fan League 4, just having that experience within the fan leagues by itself is going to be huge here. On the other side, I definitely think that we see Radis take it as far as character work goes, because he's already out of the gate flying his mouth like he belongs on the Finstock Exchange.
The one that has the little sidekick guy.
He has the agent.
He is the agent. Okay, I was thinking. Okay,
his name is Juice.
Juice. That's right. Okay, that's gonna be interesting.
Molly.
I'm going Christina on this one. Someone in the chat Snake Jazz in the chat pointed it out. Poor thing hasn't seen a Star Wars movie. Tried to help Alex study. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, that's precious.
Right?
Was she like, what's the name of the droid in like something like pretty basic? Was it like
what's the all gold droid's name?
Yeah.
I love it. That's so freaking.
Hey! I wrote that question earlier. I deserve credit for that.
Oh, Wittenbin. Okay, so apparently
Wittenbin has the agent.
Is the one with the agent. Okay.
Fair enough.
Radis has a representative. Taylor Cleek is his representative on social media, essentially.
Got it.
Okay, I knew he had something.
Okay.
Yeah.
He had some kind of something.
Brian, what about you?
I am for sure going to be seriously. I am going to definitely pick Christina. She is extremely sassy, and I like that.
You were just saying that you were going to vote against Sean if he was sassy, and now you're like, I would love sassy.
Brian was being sassy.
Sean's in a whole league of his own. I'm picking Christina. To be completely honest, I have seen absolutely zero of Rick Radis. If you were to show me two pictures of two different people, I would not know which one is which. So I'm excited to see him when he appears. But I obviously know Christina. She's come on our show. So I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, I've heard things about this character called the Rager. I've heard some things that he's actually quite good at trivia. And even though he is on my fantasy team, I'm going Christina Vassallo as well.
What is with y'all going against your fantasy?
I really like Christina. I really do. And I came to find out that she's a big fan of the challenge. She likes Arrow. And it's just like, look, how can I not pick her? Like she's gonna
not
win.
On your fantasy team.
She's gonna win. She's gonna win. And
yeah,
look,
that's Abby versus Jake.
Yeah,
and Jake has Rick Radis.
Look, if Christina wins, it's a win. If the Rager wins, it's a win. It's a win-win.
Party.
It's a win-win. So
next week, y'all need a sport person to come on here and tell you how to fantasy league works.
All right, next match here. The final match of the week here is a big one. It's a matchup between two former faction mates. A singles match between the Den and the Corruption. Paul Preston and James White.
Heavyweight.
Big matchup. We obviously know that they were both picked very high last year. One was kept this year, and then one was picked up later in the draft this year. Molly, I will start with you on this one. Are you taking Powder Keg? Or are you taking
Keep in mind today's Paul Preston's birthday. So
yeah, it is Paul's birthday.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Happy birthday, Paul. I don't think you're gonna win this one.
So much sass today, y'all. So much sass. Yeah.
Oh man.
Happy
Oh,
birthday.
man.
You're gonna lose. Bye.
Bye.
Oh man. Oh,
I
man.
love both of these players, so I have to pick one. And I had already picked one in my head, not knowing it was Paul's birthday. So apologies. I'm going James White on this one.
Chris.
I'm gonna pull up Brian and say this one's so evenly matched. I'm so split on this one.
It actually kind of is. So.
It is.
It is hard because like either one of these guys, if I could pick either one and it would just be edging out the other one, but just for the sake of firmly landing on a name, I am going to go Paul. I'm going to say Paul. Again, James White could easily take this one, but I think Paul, after his season last year, is going to be doing everything in his power to not have a repeat this season.
Okay. Also, I forgot this, but James's new nickname is the Jet.
The Jet.
James the Jet.
Ooh, the Jet.
Gator. The Gator. The Gator.
The Gator Jet.
The Gator.
Let's chill. What about you?
If James doesn't come out in PF flyers,
good call.
I'm gonna be
I mean, you won't see him, but good call.
But still, as long as you can allude that he is wearing PF flyers. I'm sticking with my corruption. I'm sticking with my good friend James White. He was one of those players where he wasn't even picked during the draft. He was picked via Twitter.
Yeah,
and that blew my mind because
he might have a bag of chips on his shoulder.
He might have a bag of chips.
A whole bag.
I've heard that somewhere before.
That's crazy. You can't put a bag of chips on
He
your
literally
They don't.
was flying into LAX when he got the text that the lockdown happened and free for all was no longer happening.
Oh yeah.
So his entire season was just kind of this whirlwind of just straight nonsense.
Hey, that was mine. Get out of here.
And now he has been corrupted. And so that chip on his shoulder is now on fire and it's sassy and it needs blood. And
God, that's an angry chip.
It's
Sassy
an
needs
angry
blood.
What's blood?
I love Paul. Paul knows that I love him, but James has taken this one.
I say, to be fair, it's less Shannon that corrupted James and more of COVID.
Fair. Shannon just ignited it more.
Robert, what about you?
I actually believe that it's going.
Wow.
Oh.
Really? Really?
Cop out.
Coward. 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 Is he gonna tackle me?
Oh God, maybe.
Should we just leave him out the rest of the stream?
No, I'm bringing him back in. Oh, you took it back out. Okay.
Anyways, that's all I have to say about that.
Okay, noted.
That's the equivalent of being like, I'm going through a tunnel.
Yeah.
I just pulled.
You're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Brian?
Well, okay.
Go ahead. I didn't know you were going to make one.
Well, if you really want to make one now.
Rude.
I probably will edge out James White on that matchup. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
Brian?
I'm going with James as well. He did not really get that much of a chance to show off how good he is last year. He played a play-in and got bibs.
And took
All
Bibbs to
right.
5.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, took bibs to 5, but he played a play-in and bibs. Welcome to the Schmoedown. that was like,
Hello, welcome.
That's it. So, I mean, you can't, to me, that's not enough to judge how good that person is. I know that he has appeared with a wall of movies behind him. That is quite a large collection. So he clearly has seen movies. Paul is no lightweight either. He's going to be a good test for James. And I mean, is it the same level as Bibbs? No. I would say this is a more level playing field. So if he comes out with a win on this, it's going to make him look pretty good. And it's always nice to have that little grudge in a way of not being picked when you assume you're going to be, and you have something to prove. And I think Shannon might be the perfect person to stoke that flame a little bit and get James a win right here.
I think Paul Preston is going to break his streak of losses. I think that he'll get the W to start the year off. And it's nothing against James. I think that he's going to have a great year. I think if he ends up taking the L, he's going to come back and get plenty of wins. He's going to be involved in the league for a long time. I don't think he's someone that should be looked over at all. But I do think that Paul might be playing with a little bit bigger of a chip right now. I mean, he went 0 for last year.
Chips.
I know. I'm so hungry. Yeah, it's a size chip on his shoulder.
Chip size chip.
But yeah, I do think Paul will break that streak. He'll get himself a W, put himself in the right direction, and then James will get back on the horse as well easily. I think that they're two great players, and I hate that they're matched up against each other the first match. But it's a great matchup. Yeah. It's a really good matchup.
It's a very good matchup.
I just think that Paul's gonna take the W to start. So
that is Dwayne versus Sean, by the way.
Ew.
Sean having James, his fellow corruptee.
His fellow corruption mate.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up tonight's show, everybody. I do want to thank both the Adams Bros for coming on.
Do you want to throw up the current standings?
Sure, why not? Let's talk about the current standings real quick. This is what the standings look like after the following week. We have the Dungeon in the lead with 11 points. The Usual Suspects coming in at second with 8. Swag and the Mercs at 6, thanks to what Demolanta just did on Friday. Wow. The Stars of 5, Corruption in the Den of 4, and the FinTalk Exchange coming in at 3 points with just a few matches played. Keep in mind, everybody, that everybody doesn't have the same amount of matches. It will all fluctuate throughout the season, but that's currently what it looks like at the moment.
Is there a pay-per-view on Friday?
There is no pay-per-view on the Friday. It's the following Friday. The following Friday is the
Battlefield.
The following Friday is the Battlefield match. It is Roker versus Miller, Bateman, and Riley. Yep, that's a big one. Which will be.
I have Liz.
Oh, I have Riley.
I have Liz.
I don't have anyone.
I got Liz.
Finally, some of my people are playing.
Roka and Miller like us.
Excuse me, that is Friday. That is Friday. That is
not. Oh my God! First off,
that is Friday.
You remember how I said I'm gonna pick King Khan and then say I have? Look, guess what? I'm half Flickinger. I have Flickinger. Dang it! I just looked at the roster.
Dang it!
We'll real quick, we'll do some quick picks before we get out of here for that one. We'll do this on the reactions this week, but I do want to get the Adams on this one. So Roka Miller, real quick around the table. Jill, start us off.
Oh, Liz. Liz is a beast, and she's going to continue being one. And so I got my girl, Liz Shannon Miller. She's going to climb that ladder, and she's going to take the first W.
Brian?
Get it.
Say it.
Am I going to say Roka? Because I think I might say Roka. And if that's the case, I need to go wash my mouth out. But I think I'm going to pick Roka on this one.
Molly.
Liz. For sure. I've been rooting for her since her debut. I love seeing her play, and I want to continue to see her win.
Chris?
Roka's coming into the season with something to prove, even though he's proven it years and years ago, multiple times in the Schmoedown. I think he's constantly in a place of wanting something to prove, so I think it's Roka, although Liz very easily could probably still win too.
And Robert?
I'm going to go with Roka, but I wouldn't be disappointed if Liz took it also.
I echo exactly what he just said. All right, next one, Bateman and Riley. We got a civil war between the two former teammates here. Jill, I'll go right back to you. Bateman or Riley?
I love and adore Riley, but Bateman is going to absolutely destroy him, is my prediction. It's
You
gonna
better hope
be,
not, because Frank's got him.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
That's my prediction.
This is the one where like I want to pick Riley, but I think Bateman's gonna win this one.
Molly,
I just realized
you have Riley.
I have Riley, but Bateman is on the dungeon. And
I played the fifth.
I mean, my fantasy league is garbage except for me myself being on my own league.
That's not true. You have a good team. Your players haven't played yet.
They just haven't played.
Yeah.
Some of them, yeah. So of course I'm gonna support my faction and say Bateman, although I don't think it's gonna be a blowout that some people think it's gonna be. I hope Riley puts up a really good fight. Maybe even, dare we say, overtime. Poor PJ.
Ooh.
But
Poor PJ.
I'd love to see it happen.
Poor PJ.
Chris.
I mean, outside of the GPA, have we seen Riley lately?
No.
He's been kind of tucked away. Maybe is he taking his time wisely and putting in some good study time? Maybe. I think based on how we saw last year, I think Bateman's got this one. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a very game Riley coming out of the gate here.
I would like to see. I will say, although I did say Bateman would crush him, I would like to see a brand new.
You just drag him through the cement, and you're like, Bateman, Riley could maybe win.
No, I didn't say. I just say
Okay,
I would like
we'll
to see it. I would like to see a new and improved Riley, but Bateman's still winning.
I mean, he is with Kate. You never know.
He is with Kate.
Robert?
I'm going to go with Bateman. I know Bateman's study habits are like legendary, so I feel like he's still going to be on top.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Bateman as well. I think Bateman in a new situation with the dungeon really helps him. Not to say that Riley in the den doesn't, but I think he's got Merle in his corner, he's got Kaiser, Molly, etc. The whole Mara, the whole squad is over there.
It's got me, who knows everything about singles. So
watch out with Molly in sports movies. Knows it all.
All right, let's go and wrap this up real quick. Again, to Chris and Robert, thank you guys so much for coming on, guys. I know.
Congratulations!
Yeah, congratulations! A big congratulations for those of you who may not
we'll
be
have to play it again.
May not have been watching. The Adams Bros are officially in the FCL, guys. They're officially part of the movie trivia world. They're joining the FCL, and they will be competing. And so, while we get out of here, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you online, guys? Robert, you start us off.
You can find us over on our YouTube channel. We are at Cinefanatics, just youtube.com/Cinefanatics. Please subscribe over there. We got a lot of cool, awesome things that are still happening on that channel where we get to talk about movies, and you can kind of see what we know and gauge our movie level nerdum over on our channel. So we've got watch along stuff, all kinds of fun stuff coming up pretty soon. So there's that. There's our patreon.com/Cinefanatics. Fun things happening on there as well. Arrow Owl, Rachel is one of our big fans over there also. So thanks to Rachel. Yeah, Rachel's great. Anyways, you can also follow us on social media. We are at Cinefanatics MLP on Twitter and Instagram. There's our individual Robert Adams MLP, I guess Chris Adams MLP, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. So,
yep.
Chris, would you like to plug anything on your own?
Guys, you can follow the FCL on Twitch. March 30th is the first FCL match. So tune in March 30th. It's a Tuesday. I believe it's around 3 p.m. Pacific time.
I believe so, yeah.
So definitely, if you're not following the FCL, if you're not following the Schmoedown on Twitch, you might want to do that now. It's going to be really good. It's going to be really good.
And that's a good thing to bring up. If you're not a Twitcher or if you're not a part of it, the matches will air 2 weeks after they debut on Twitch.
Yes.
On YouTube. They'll drop 2 weeks after the match is played on Twitch on YouTube.
On the Schmoedown Extras channel.
On the
Schmoedown Extras.
Yes. Yeah. Molly, what about you?
I'm on Twitter and Twitch at Molly Damon, and you can find me on Star Wars Explained with Alex, consoling him, giving him a hug. every so often, because, he's fine. Talking about Star Wars and, at Molly Mander on Instagram, which is mostly just stories of Pippin yelling at me for food.
Which is the best.
The best. And knocking things off.
And knocking things over. Yeah.
Brian?
Be Volcino on Twitter and Apocalypse Movies.
Jill?
Jilly Marie, Twitter and Instagram, 2 I's, 2 E's. You can also sometimes catch me over on the Perchukin. They are doing their anniversary episode, I believe this Wednesday is their anniversary stream, so I'll hop on that at some point. I know Sean will be there. You can also catch Molly and I in 3 weeks from yesterday for our next episode of Happy Hour, which we announced our next guest is Rachel Silvestrini, the Switchblade herself. So we'll be talking movies, we'll be talking music, and you bet there's going to be a whole lot of mayhem. We do have a cocktail, I believe, already planned. We just got to get the recipe. I got to steal it from my old, now defunct Disney bar.
It's Rachel Silverstreet. It's just straight whiskey.
Y'all are in trouble.
We did that already. We did that last night.
We said, Rachel, please, no more whiskey.
You thought the one yesterday was crazy. Rachel, y'all are in trouble.
It is a drink that I am stealing from my now defunct bar that I used to work at Disneyland, which is perfectly catered to Rachel. So it's going to be a fun one. Tune in 3 weeks on April the 10th. I can have.
Yep, got it right.
Yay!
Jake, I'm gonna throw one more thing also before you do yours. On Saturday, we're gonna be on Chris Clark's Twitch stream.
We're gonna play some Mario Party.
Yeah, that's us there on the right. And
look at Kristen staring at me like a weirdo.
Well, good. She's my partner, so she's hunting you down.
Is it me and Molly?
Molly.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
From Jake and
Alex. Hell yeah. I was going to say, I'm going to just lose again, but now Jill on my team.
We're going to destroy. Yeah.
You can find me at Qui-Gon Jake on socials, 2 N's. Someone else took it before I did. You can find Schmoedown, POV on Twitter, Schmoedown POV. Streamlabs linked right up there. Guys, if you're interested in our Patreon as well, watch-alongs, Q&As. We're adding something new next month for a high tier that has to do with Happy Hour. May interest you quite a bit, so look out for that. And then we are here weekly doing reactions. You see us catching match reactions. For this week, it'll be Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, we won't be doing one because of the pay-per-view. And then you'll catch us back here on Sunday as well. So again, to everyone who's watching, to watch on the playback, everyone who's been donating and asking questions, we greatly appreciate it. We love hanging out with you guys on a Sunday.
Can we play the video again?
To Chris and Robert, thank you so much for coming on. Jill, sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said, can we play the video again?
Oh yeah, we can play the video again.
Let's close out with the video again.
We'll go ahead and finish up with the video. The official announcement from the fellow bag chippers down there.
Oh my god, can you imagine if that gets stuck as their nickname if they did a team?
Everyone hashtag bag chippers. Everyone hashtag bag chippers.
My cat was down here sniffing the bag, and I just took it away from her. Like, I wanted chips.
Everyone, have a good evening. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
What's up, guys? We're the Cinefanatics. My name is Chris Adams. And I'm Robert Adams. And we're about to do, for our first time ever, our inaugural Schmoedown reaction.
Once again, I'm going to push for the Cinefanatics. They should have been in.
They should have been nominated.
Y'all are 2 of the best reactors the Schmoedown has ever seen.
3 Cinefanatics are here. They got snubbed. Love for them too, guys. They're getting drafted. It's okay.
I have a question for you guys. Are you guys going to enter the draft?
Do you know what you need if you want to go straight to the top? Vote!
They had been diehard fans. They've done blogs on their show for the Schmoedown for a very long time. Robert himself has even competed in the Schmoedown at one point. They're very nice people, and we hope to see them on the other after shows, giving because they know the show very well too. So
would the Adams brothers be interested in the FCL?
Oh, we got something to say about that.
Welcome to the first Cinefanatics League.
You're in our house now.
Okay, I get it. We've seen all these new rookies coming in, all on fire. They didn't get picked up in the draft, so now we hear them sitting there saying, oh, I've got a chip on my shoulder. Because a manager didn't select you? Like, you've got something to prove?
All right, you don't know rejection like we do. Have any of y'all out there been doing an after show for 3+ years and getting this close to being nominated every single time but getting snubbed for all of them? Have you actually already been in the draft last year and been completely passed over by every single manager? No, you guys are complaining because you didn't get picked up this year. We know some of y'all out there are going to be future champions, and that's fine. But right now is not your time. So sit back, put your feet up, relax, grab a snack, because if you think you have a chip on your shoulder, we have a whole bag of chips. All right, we're good? Did we get it? That's a wrap? Cool. Wait, sorry, what's that? They're not doing teams in the FCL yet?